Hi, my name's Ryan, and the story I'll be reading today is The Adventure to Crete. This story is dedicated to Mary Kate Murphy. Around 555 BCE, Pythagoras was walking home from school with his two brothers, Tyrannus and Eunomus. They were wondering what they would have for dinner. Pythagoras wanted olives and bread, but Tyrannus and Eunomus wanted fruit and fish. They hardly got any fish, for it was quite scarce. When they got home, Menestrochles, Pythagoras' father, was in the underhall, the men's room, with his foot wrapped. "Father, what happened?" asked Pythagoras. "Oh, nothing," answered Menestrochles. Just then Themistocleris, Pythagoras' sister, burst into the underhall with a platter of food. Eunomus and Tyrannus both screamed yes, for the platter was covered in fruit and fish. Within a minute the two brothers were gobbling up the fish, but not Pythagoras, for he had other ideas. Then it hit him, all of it. "Father, I thought you were going to Crete tomorrow morning," Pythagoras pointed out. "Well, yeah," answered Menestrochles. "I was getting to that." Pythagoras had not touched his fish. Tyrannus and Eunomus were gobbling all of it up. Gobbling up all of Pythagoras' fish. Pythagoras was grinning ear to ear until he noticed father was looking at him wide-eyed. "Son, why have you not touched your fish?" asked Menestrochles. "I'm not eating meat," answered Pythagoras. "It's not right to kill animals even for religious sacrifices." "Okay, I do not know what to say to that," answered Menestrochles. "Back to my ankle." "I need you boys to go to Crete for me," requested Menestrochles. 2 days passed in a flash, for the brothers had agreed to go to Crete. There is much work to be done: loading olives onto the round ship, also known as the merchant ship, finding old maps, learning how the round ship worked, and a lot more. Finally, the big day came. Everyone was very excited and nervous. Menestrochles was very sad, for he wanted to see how well his sons did. "Remember to go from Samos to Rhodes, then to Crete," said Menestrochles. "Promise," answered Tyrannus and Eunomus. They entered the round ship. It rocked back and forth. It was a gorgeous day. The wind was warm and the air was fresh. The sky was clear and the sun was bright as a star. They entered the boat and set off. The waves rocked the boat back and forth. The wind blew their hair like a comb. Finally, they got to Crete. Eunomus and Tyrannus and Pythagoras all grabbed a bundle or two of olives to take to the Agora. The Agora was a market in ancient Greece. They took the olives to the little stall. They laid them on the table. The stall was 2 yards by 2 yards. There was a piece of cloth as the ceiling. After they got organized, Pythagoras announced, "I'm going to walk around the Agora." On his walk, Pythagoras saw the Agora's center was a right triangle. At one side there was 3 stalls by 3 stalls. At the other side there was 4 stalls by 4 stalls. Pythagoras was the type of person who would guess the last side. In an instant he was dashing back to the stall where his brothers were. Not a word was exchanged, for Pythagoras had got a blank scroll and was scribbling away. Then he realized that he could have 2 equal squares. Also, he could make A, B, and C represent numbers. He decided the last side was 5 squared. He also realized that he could make each corner represent Samos, Rhodes, and Crete. He looked up to see his brothers staring at him, with a long line of people behind. "Ahem," one of the people said in line. Pythagoras stood up and gave everyone what they wanted and sat back down to persuade his brothers to go straight from Crete back to Samos. We are going straight from Crete back to Samos," said Pythagoras. "But father made us promise not to," answered Eunomus. "I never promised," Pythagoras replied. "Fine, we can go straight from Crete back to Samos. But if we get in trouble, you take the blame," said Tyrannus. "Fine," agreed Eunomus. Entering the ship to go home, there was not an olive left. Going from Crete straight back to Samos only took 2 weeks instead of 5 weeks. Then they got home. When they got home, Menestrochles and Themistocleris came to greet them. Tyrannus announced, Pythagoras has news. I know that Samos to Rhodes is 111 miles. I can use an A to represent it. I see, said Mephistopheles. The same goes for everything else. I'll just use a B and a C instead, said Pythagoras. And a little 2 can represent squared. It would look like this. Next time I go, I will try it, said Mephistopheles. The answer to how long Samos to Greece is 34,225 miles. This is how the Pythagorean theorem was created, and Pythagoras became one of the best mathematicians in Greece.